Hello, I am getting ready to make some sourdough bagels. I think I'm going to make some cinnamon raisin bagels. And the recipe that I'm going to use is from the Clever Carrot. And I think I've got all my ingredients here. I fed my starter earlier and my starter got a little bit too happy. And it has burst out of its container. So I've got a mess on my hands, so that's why I kind of have it here. I tried to put it in the sourdough home before I left the house just to try to prevent that, but it didn't work. So yeah, I'm going to start out with 150 grams of bubbly active starter. All right, so I've got my starter. And then I need 250 grams of water. I've already gotten my water here, but I haven't pre-measured it, so I'm gonna put it in there. Sugar. Oh. And I'm gonna whisk these together. Starter water and sugar. Then I just add my flour and my salt. I actually think I have to add my cinnamon to this mixture of the dough. But let me add the flour. I need 500 grams. Bread flour. I just bought some raw flour. I have never used raw flour before, and for whatever reason, I am deciding to add a dab of raw flour to this. So I did mostly bread flour, and then I'm just adding about 20 grams of rye. It's dark rye flour. And then my salt, I need 9 grams. Add my cinnamon. Finished with measuring everything, so just move my scale out of the way. And the raisins, I have them soaking in a mixture of hot water and vanilla flavoring. Yeah, and you add those a little bit later on, so I'll do that later. I'm gonna have to hand mix. The dough is very dry. Her recipe says that it's a very dry dough, and then I think it probably also doesn't help that I'm using some rye flour, so I might have to add more water. I don't know. That's what it's looking like. I'm just kneading the dough to try to get everything together because it's a lot of dry bits in here. then I'll cover it, and I'll come back after a while and add the raisins to it, but I will have dry these raisins off so that I can incorporate them a little bit better. I am back after letting the dough rest. I was just shy of 80 grams of raisins, so I soaked a few more. I'm about to incorporate the raisins into my dough. They really didn't tell me how, so I just kind of sprinkled them on top, and I think I'm going to do some stretch and fold, maybe. I don't know. The dough is very dry. I don't think that stretch and folds are going to be sufficient because it's not going to, is it going to put them all throughout? I don't think so. I'm going to let it rest some more. So after letting the dough rise and then putting it in a refrigerator, I am taking it out. I'm about to weigh it, and then I'm going to divide it. It is very stiff coming out of the refrigerator. So the dough weighs 1,033 grams. And then I'm going to flatten it out into a rectangle and divide it. It's supposed to be make about 8 of them, I think. Okay, I'm back. I have, after I let my dough rise and everything, I put it in the refrigerator overnight, and I just weighed it. It's 1,033 grams, and so I'm trying to make about 8 bagels. So I'm going to spread it out, and I'm going to cut it into about 8 of them. That should be no more than about 129 grams. I don't know how they expect for you to flatten the dough out into a rectangle because all I'm getting is a big square. A big square. That's what I say. But I'm going to go ahead and try to, I guess, trust the process maybe. If you can even call it that. If I'm to split it in half, I'll say. Too little. That was big enough. I'm just weighing them. Too big. closer. That is actually perfect. And then you roll them into a ball and then let them sit for about, I guess they say for the gluten to relax about, or for the dough to relax for about 15 minutes or so. So I'm just going to sit them on some parchment and let it relax so I can come back and shape them, I guess, into their bagel form. I am back. I've let them rest for a bit. I'm going to poke a hole in the center and roll it around to stretch it. And they are going to shrink. I think. And after you do your center hole, then you're going to let them do, it says a second rise. But they say for only like 15 to 20 minutes. And I guess in the meantime, I'm going to be bringing a pot of water to boil so I can boil them. I've seen some people, oh, I'm gonna lose some raisins here. But I've seen some people kind of stretch it out into like, roll it out into a log and then bring the ends together and seal them. I have never tried that method. And I'm not gonna try it today either. This one, that one that I just did is all open, and so the raisins are like, hey, I'm about to leave you, so. And this one isn't evenly done. And so that's all 8 of them. Some of them are definitely not even. Some sides are a little bit more wide than the others. But yep, then I'm gonna go ahead and get my pot of water ready while letting these rest. Now I'm getting ready to boil the bagels for 30 seconds per side. I got the water boiling. I'm about to put some honey into the water. Calls for like a tablespoon. Probably going to do a little bit more because they also said to use a smaller pot or like a medium pot. And I'm using my big pot, even though it's not completely filled, but it's filled enough. I don't think the recipe told you how much water, just to add water. I'm just trying to get all the honey off because I don't like to be wasteful. And they said to whisk it. Boil the bagels for 30 minutes. 30 seconds per side. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just flipping them over in here. Take them out, put them on the pan. Get them out. Put them on a pan. They have finished boiling. Now I'm about to put them into the oven. It says for 25 to 30 minutes and then flip them the last 2 minutes or so. So yep, they're just going into the oven and then that will be it. I'm not putting anything on them since they are already flavored.